Wow, I feel like I've been filming a lot today. This is the third video I'm filming. So guys, stay with me. I've got lots of energy and I've got lots of information for you. Now, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. We're giving away absolutely free calls with me in person, one-to-one, until I get to 10,000 subscribers. So have a look in the description. There's a free ebook, absolutely free of charge. There's a free one-to-one consultation with me, 15 minutes, talk about whatever you want. And there's also a free course coming where I'm going to go into much more detail, because YouTube really isn't the place to put 40, 50, 60-minute videos. And I want to be able to give the information completely free of charge to you guys so that you can make better financial decisions and obviously get a bit of information from myself, just my journey and my input. So guys, I hope you appreciate that. Click those links, book those calls, have a look at the ebook, have a look at the course. Now guys, let's get into this video. This video is all about what's going to happen when interest rates come down. And interest rates have already started coming down. The Bank of England has gone from 5.25 to 4.75. Now we have an article coming out where Goldman Sachs, the big investment bank, are saying 2.75 by the end of 2025. And I think that's pretty realistic. I think they're going to have to cut much harder on interest rates to support employment, to support jobs, to support the economy in general. Like, I run a big taxi business and I can see the decline in consumer spending. I really can. Day in, day out, we are seeing people going out less, going to less restaurants. I mean, I've got friends who run restaurants and catering businesses and takeaways, and they're all saying the same thing, which is demand is slowing. And that journey is only going to continue with higher taxes. Yeah, okay, Labour's national insurance is only going to hit employers. Where are we going to pass it on to? We don't have excess margins. We haven't had all this excess cash that we're holding on to. We're going to have to pass it on to either our consumers, or we're going to have to cut staff. Now, we're very fortunate. We're quite nimble with our staffing. We're just putting a recruitment freeze on, nice and blanket. If anybody leaves in the next 4 or 5 months, that'll be the NI increase completely covered. But there's lots of businesses that are making redundancies that have huge staff bills. So I see the Bank of England needing to do something to support the jobs, to support the economy. Now that is a big opportunity for us property investors. Now, why is that a big opportunity? Well, generally speaking, property prices, when interest rates come down, they go up. And that is because you can just borrow more money and it becomes cheaper. It's nice and simple. Why has property prices stagnated for the last few years? Well, simple. Interest rates have been high. I was used to borrowing at like 2% and suddenly it's 7%. You know, my mortgages per month were about, I think, 4,000, 5,000 a month. They're now like 10, 11,000 pounds a month. Huge difference. Bring them back down. I'm going to have lots more money to spend. And this is why interest rates matter. Because when that borrowing becomes cheaper for the majority of people who own a property or pay a mortgage, for investors like myself who invest in property, but also for businesses that borrow money. I mean, we borrow money to buy cars, we borrow money to have operating, to have expansions. We're not doing as much of that because money's so expensive at the moment. So once those interest rates come down, people are going to be able to borrow more, do more, and the economy is going to be able to grow. Now, I'm a big protagonist. I'm a big capitalist. You know, I believe in the power of people and capital in their hands to be able to make good financial decisions. And I think that if you unlock that with low interest rates, and I just think that having money isn't enough. Right? Like, people who've just got money shouldn't be the people who are able to achieve the most. I think you should be able to borrow capital in order to achieve something. And a good use of capital, for example, in property, take a property that's unused, unloved, not valuable, spend money on it through borrowing the money, make it more valuable, increase the value of the property next door, increase the land, increase the city's value, increase everything with that investment, and then pocket the difference that you've made. Now, right now, it's much harder to do because interest rates are so high. But as they come down, property prices inevitably are going to increase. Now, what does that mean for the average person? Well, for me, the last couple of years, property prices, they haven't really moved. I've got fairly geographically spread properties. So my properties up north have gone up quite a lot. My properties in the Midlands area, a little bit. My properties down south probably dropped a little bit. So for me, it's a nil gain almost. Now, what I see with lower interest rates, especially if we go down to the 2 number, right? Like getting down to where it was. I mean, we were down to nearly 0 before, but let's get it down to 2 first. I believe in that environment, property prices are going to grow throughout the entire economy and throughout the entire country. People are still buying, transacting. There's still a lack of properties on the market right now. I know Labour have come in and said they're going to build loads of houses. It's probably not possible, A, to build the number that they've said, because every government says the same thing. B, the builders won't be able to sell them unless there's an end consumer who's willing to pay the price. And with high mortgage rates, that's a big stumbling block for a lot of people. I mean, you look at a £300,000 house, you're putting down 30 grand, 270,000 on a 7% mortgage. I mean, this is big money for an average house. Like, people can't afford that right now. So I'm a big believer that interest rates down, property prices up, we'll all make loads of money. That's the simple truth of this video. So get involved now. Like, the more you can buy in property right now and benefit over the next 24 months as interest rates come down, I think the better. And for me, I'm going to continue to buy as and when I have the funds to be able to do so. But at the moment, I've got £3 million of property. I'd love to see a 10% increase in that over the next couple of years, maybe even more. And I know a lot of people are saying around 25% over by 2028. Wouldn't that be amazing? Nearly £1 million netted on capital appreciation by basically just holding on. And not to mention that if those interest rates come down, my monthly profits will go through the roof. Now, I'm not trying to make anybody angry with me or jealous of me or flexing in any way, shape or form. In fact, I think I'm very, very small fry, right? Like, I've got 15 properties. I know people with hundreds of properties who are worth hundreds of millions. I'm nowhere in that league. I have a small portfolio, a few £1 million. I would love to see it growing, and I would love over the rest of my journey to be in the environment where I know that I can make better returns, because the last couple of years have been tough. Every property investor out there will tell you the same thing. The last couple of years have been very, very hard. Now, I do think there's other things that we can talk about when it comes to interest rates, the scale at which they cut back and the speed at which that money comes through. But I'm going to need to go into much more detail, and this just isn't the right platform. So if you like this sort of content, head over to my absolutely free of charge course, click the links in the description, give this video a big like. I massively appreciate all of you. Subscribe, free 15-minute call for everybody, 10,000 subscribers. See you next week. Cheers, guys.